This week on Yo Quiero Dinero.
But when you're in the position that I'm in, where
Yeah,
you know that your family member relies on financial support through the business that you've built,
yeah.
it's not as cut and dry as just being like, "Hey, you're fired."
I've had so many tower moments in my life, or some people call like the dark night of the soul moments, where you're literally just sitting in your and I think every single person, all of our stories, all of our traumas, they're all different, but we all have moments where we refuse to sit in our and a lot of the times, y'all, we are creating our own that we're just so comfortable living in. And that was me. And you also have to have boundaries. I think that's something that so many of us in relationships, familial relationships, friendships, work relationships,
Yeah.
like we lack having boundaries and we lack speaking up. That's why I said, babe, unlock your throat chakra in 2026 and let these know, stop playing with me. Okay? Because I'm healing, not healed. So you can around and find out.
All right, mi gente, I don't think you're ready for this episode. I'm gonna be real honest. It's gonna be one for the books. We're gonna have a conversation today with none other than my sister, who you guys may know, especially if you've been around for a couple years. She was uh, basically the genius behind the scenes, helping me run the business. She actually started working for me right as I was making the transition from leaving my job and scaling the business to full time. And so this is a very I think it's going to be a very multifaceted conversation, and it's going to be around the very interesting dynamic when you mix family and business. So, before I get into any more details, hello, sis. How are you?
Hey, hey, yo, I'm back.
You are back. Okay,
I'm
so
back.
you have been on somewhat of a hiatus from
Somewhat.
being in the
Almost been a
public
year.
eye,
Yes.
right? Like it's been
Yep.
a minute since you were doing your own podcast, you took a social media sabbatical. Like, can we go back to maybe the beginning of last year? Like what was going on for you?
Oh, yeah.
2025 January-ish.
So this is like a little prequel of my own episode that I'm gonna drop all the tea of why I did a almost year-long hiatus, sabbatical, whatever you wanna call it.
Yeah.
But, January 2025, your girl was out here thriving. Okay,
Mhm.
so she wasn't making money in her business per se, like little pieces of coin here and there, but I was popping off on social media. I don't know what happened, but I figured out the algorithm, I cracked it, and I was just growing at a exponential rate. It was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
you hit like at the 100,000 followers,
I was
no?
at 100,000 followers right but I was at like 99.9. I was almost there right before I said, "I can't fucking do this." Because y'all, I mean, y'all know Janice, she is the guru, she's over here slaying social media, but I don't really think people, especially entrepreneurs and small business owners, realize it is a gift and a curse when you are found on social media and you grow at such a fast rate. Because for me, right before, and this is like the first reason as to why I did walk away, I got really overwhelmed with the amount of people who were just looking at me every day and interacting with me. And it got to the point that there was this Z-list celebrity. She was some woman who participated on Marriage at First Sight in Australia, and apparently she assumed that because I was reposting a lot of other people's content and giving them credit, because I reposted a repost of her from a third party, she assumed that I stole her content and didn't give her any credit. And then she had like a swarm of people threatening me. And I
Oh,
never experienced that before.
wow.
It was insanity. I was getting death threats. They were leaving like negative reviews about the podcast. It was affecting my business, not just me. and I spiraled. If you guys followed me, if you remember back in, it was like around February 2025. That's when the very last episode on my podcast is February 2025. So it was right before that.
Okay.
I was posting on my stories. I was reposting everything. I was like, I crashed out. And then I realized, holy shit, this has taken over my life. It's not fun anymore.
And
Uh,
especially if you're not even making money from that shit, that's one of these
Bruh,
things. Like, I think a lot of the times people see a follower count and they're just like, oh, this must mean they're like rolling in the dough and like all that shit. But it literally, it's a vanity metric. Like, I know people who have 1,000 followers on Instagram and are making fucking six figures. And there's people with 1 million followers that ain't doing a goddamn thing.
y'all. Okay, we're gonna keep it super real. And we talk about
Sure.
money here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm literally in the process of almost filing for bankruptcy
Mm,
because that's how fucked up my whole money situation is. And I'm gonna talk about that in detail. But I'm literally about to make a really big decision to burn everything down to the ground so that way I can rebuild a really strong foundation. And
yeah.
that's a huge reason as to why I had to take a step away because my mental health was shit. After that, I got a new diagnosis. I was
Mm,
hospitalized for almost a week after losing vision in my left eye. Long story short, I now have multiple sclerosis at 37 years old. And after that, I'm gonna let my beautiful sister and former boss take over, um, because it got really dark. After that, it got really, really dark. So I'll let you
yeah.
interject.
So, as you can imagine, when there's someone who is working for you and
Mhm.
they're going through personal shit, inevitably it spills over into how they show up. And I think also there is always this kind of blurred line when you're working with family
Yep.
because there is that personal relationship that you don't necessarily have like a clear separation of when somebody's working for you and they're not related to you.
Mhm.
So, as you're going through this stuff, I'm in the thick of like being a brand new mom,
Yeah.
right? My daughter was born pretty much at the end of December, and so January and February was me
December
like
2024.
24,
Yeah.
24,
Yeah.
correct. Right. So, those first couple of months of 2025, I'm on leave but also like actively thinking about what I wanna accomplish 2025 and what the new normal is gonna look like, all that stuff. So I'm in a position where I need reliable, consistent, responsive support more than
And I
anything.
was none of that. I will take accountability, y'all. I was a fucking horrible, um, I was a horrible employee. And
Not always.
not always, but let me just paint a little timeline. So I started working for her. I was in an abusive relationship. Y'all know that, and if you don't, we'll tag that episode so you can learn about my backstory. But I had left an abusive relationship in March 2021. 6 months later, my sister hired me. So
Mhm.
up until this point, when I'm starting to fucking crash out, it was maybe 4 years that I
Yeah.
was working for you. So I'm locked in. Like we're doing it, but mentally, I was not here.
Yeah. So I'm wrestling with this really delicate situation where I don't have a bunch of people that work for me, okay? Like there's some creators that have fucking 30 people working for them. I literally had you and maybe like at that point a podcast editor, right? And then my husband would randomly help me with like stuff related to the food blog, like editing videos and things. So I run a very lean operation here.
Yeah.
And my sister, although she doesn't give herself credit, she is really, really good at like detail oriented work. She's very good at administrative stuff. She's very good at like anticipation, like the things that you would want from an executive assistant or like a virtual assistant. She's great at, which is not my wheelhouse. Like I am a creative creature. I function with a lot less structure. I don't like a ton of structure, but I do need it. And so I usually outsource that type of thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm in this situation where I'm feeling that you've kind of mentally checked out, and
Uh,
I
uh,
don't know what to
but
do.
it was way before that. I think for me,
And
I
you go
got
through
to the
periods, though. You would
huh?
go through periods of,
Yeah,
like, where you don't give a fuck, and then get reinvigorated, and then
yes,
you're good for a little while, and then so I'm like, "Okay, cool, alright, I
yeah,
guess we're back on track, whatever."
yeah, yeah. It was a toxic relationship. It was very
Oh, it
emotional. It was
absolutely
very
was.
hot and cold. Yeah,
It was very, very, very fucking toxic, okay? But when you're in the position that I'm in, where
yeah,
you know that your family member relies on financial support through the business that you've built,
yeah,
it's not as cut and dry as just being like, "Hey, you're fucking fired."
yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
And I had been feeling like it was time for you to transition for a while before we actually had the conversation.
Mhm.
And I think you know that I was trying to push you in the direction to, like, make that decision for yourself so
Yeah.
that I wouldn't have to be the one to do it.
But I refused. Like, y'all, okay, so I lost my job in July. I got I got sick at the end of June and lost my job literally less than a week after I got out of the hospital. We'll talk about that. We're gonna spill all the tea, okay? We're gonna spill it all. But again, I'm gonna take accountability. Me and my sister, or my sister and I, had a meeting virtually about maybe a month and a half before she decided to let me go. And that was basically like her final warning. I remember that conversation and I was like a fucking mess. I was like, yo, you're really gonna fire me? Like, no, I can't do this. Because, yo, and it's still to this day, even though I am working now, I did take a very big pay cut because my sister, I'll still, even though I fucking hated her for a few months, she was the best boss that I've ever had. Very generous, and she paid me very, very well. You know what I mean? And it was definitely a difficult switch for me to take that pay cut, but I will always give her her flowers. She did her big one when it came to taking care of me financially.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, basically what happened before the firing was I kind of put you on, like, a performance improvement plan,
Yes.
where I was just like literally giving you the list of things that I wanted to see from you that showed me that, like, you were serious, you were ready to, like, go beyond doing the bare minimum and just show me, like, your own leadership skills and stuff. And I think you were just in a mental place where you couldn't receive that information, nor did you have any kind of motivation to implement.
No. And I think up at that point, I was bored. I
Mm.
felt like it was very redundant work. Like, every Sunday I have to have the YouTube video ready, and then every Monday, and then I got to create the reel. And, I'm to this point that I don't even know what the fuck I'm listening to. And I'm just so checked out. I'm so tired of talking about fucking dinero and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I couldn't take it anymore. And I did the bare, I like, when a man breadcrumbs you and you're just like, just a little bit? Yo, like he just puts the tip in? That was me. My work ethic was trash. It
And
was
so
beneath.
would you attribute any of that to just, like, your own mental state versus the actual, like, work itself? Like, how
No,
much
it
of
was
it was
both. It was
yeah,
both. It was
yeah.
definitely both. And then once the actual firing happened and the me getting sick right before that, I mean, trigger warning, but it got really dark to the point that I had suicidal ideation. Like, I did not wanna physically be here anymore because I saw no way out.
Yeah.
And after I did lose my job, I was first of all, when you told me in May that, this is your final warning, start putting a resume together, start looking for jobs, I didn't do any of that. I was like,
I
"No,
know, because I kept
not
fucking asking
fucking
you
for
to see the
real."
fucking resume, and I'm like, "Bitch, where's
Yeah.
the resume?"
No, I was just like, "Be so fucking for real, like, she's not gonna do that." But, I was very resistant to change, and I think that's a wound of mine that I'm still trying to heal through 37 years into my life. Like, and I think that's for everyone. Change is very uncomfortable. Like, when you're comfortable, when you have this steady income, when you can, pick up and leave whenever you want, the freedom, the time freedom that I had, that was another luxury that I had to let go of going back to corporate. But, I took it for granted, and I checked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think also, like, change can be a trigger for people because anytime that they've had change, it's been forced on them versus,
Mm,
like, them actually
yes,
initiating it,
yes,
right? Like, I think that's an important distinction for me. Like, I'm not afraid of change. I actually like change. I get fucking bored, you
yes,
know? The only thing that I'm consistent in is, like, my relationships. Like, I'm not one to, like, stray and, like, cheat on
right,
people. Like,
right,
that's not my nature as far as, like, getting tired of the same thing. But I
mhm,
do get tired of doing the same type of work. I even get tired of living in the same areas after a while. I get tired of the fucking house. I get tired of the colors on the walls, right? So
mhm,
I'm just consistently the type of person where if I feel that energy of like stagnation, I'm like, okay, some shit's got to go.
yeah.
But when I think you have experienced change in ways that it's been forced on you unwillingly, and so it's a fucking trigger versus like feeling like something empowering.
Yes, it like, for people who study tarot and are into astrology, like when you said the sudden change, I thought of the tower card. If you picture the tower card, it's literally a building that's on fire that's crumbling to the ground.
Yeah.
And that's literally I've had so many tower moments in my life, or some people call like the dark night of the soul moments, where you're literally just sitting in your shit. And I think every single person, all of our stories, all of our traumas, they're all different, but we all have moments where we refuse to sit in our shit. And a lot of the times, y'all, this is going to trigger someone, but a lot of the times we are creating our own shit that we're just so comfortable living in.
Yeah. It's
And
true.
that was me. That
Yeah.
was me. You know what I mean? And it got to the point that I had to basically lose all of my savings. I had to lose a relationship with my sister, lose a relationship with my brother-in-law, with my niece, like it would, and it didn't just affect me.
Yeah.
It affected the entire family dynamic, you
So
know?
let's talk about that. Okay.
Yeah.
So
You sure you want to talk about this? Because I know
yeah,
mom's gonna
that's
listen.
I don't give a fuck.
Right.
She's heard me say wild shit. I mean,
Right.
that ain't nothing new.
Let's cleanse the energy. Let's cleanse the energy.
Yeah. Okay, so I to be fair,
There. Yeah.
because when we look at the actual sequence of events, it can look fucked up.
So can
When
you explain the sequence of events?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, let me start. So I had been obviously with your energy, I had been thinking like, okay, 2025's got to be the year that I just like restructure my business and just get other people involved that don't have that familial connection. I was also feeling like a lot of resentment of feeling like we had now been chained together by this thing, because when I envisioned us working together, for me, it was never going to be like a full time thing, like for an extended period of time. I was thinking it was going to be a year long thing where it's your transition and then you figure out what you want to do next. And, next thing you know, it turns into a 4-year endeavor. And I'm just feeling like I'm not getting the support that I need. I don't want to cause chaos in the family, but also this is the thing that pays my family's bills. You know what I mean? Like this is not a fucking side hobby. Like I need this business to run efficiently and I need as the CEO to have the support that I need. And I will say that I don't think I would have made the decision as quickly. I know the decision would have been made, but I don't think I would have made it as quickly if I wasn't dealing with like all the pressure of motherhood too. Like for me, it just felt like I cannot afford to be out here prioritizing other people's feelings that are not in my immediate household. And if that meant like my family was going to get pissed off at me because I was making a decision that I knew was best for both of us. Because I could see that you had reached a point where you weren't growing anymore. And I didn't know how to push you out of that space unless it was literally like, bitch, you're getting shoved off the cliff because I've been trying to be nice about it and give you the opportunity to fucking do it yourself, but you're not going to do it. So, after a lot of deliberation, I had made the decision around May. And then I ended up scheduling a meeting for us right around the week that you got sick?
So it was the day before I went into the hospital.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us what happened.
3 or 4 days prior to June 25th, 2025, I wake up one morning when I'm laying in bed one Sunday morning, and the top half of my left eye is dark. And I'm thinking, did I sleep with my contact? Like, what's going on? The day went on and it started to get progressively worse. It was like not the entire vision, but like if I looked up, it was just a gray blanket. And if I looked down, I could see everything in normal color. It was the weirdest thing. And I thought maybe I scratched I don't know. I'm trying to make a fucking excuse, right? I'm not really thinking this is actually happening. So Monday goes, nothing has changed. Then Tuesday morning, I'm like, okay, I can't fucking see, guys. Like, this is not normal. And at this point, I had lost my Medicaid insurance. So I was paying for insurance like a regular premium. Well, I wasn't paying for it. Shout out to mom for supporting me through this whole thing. She was helping me out and keeping the insurance active because I needed it because I have other health issues that I deal with, right? So Tuesday morning, I asked mom to take me to the doctor and she needs to drive because I can't see. And this is the first time that I'm mentioning this to anyone because I live at home with my parents and my daughter, right? So, and she had to take off work. Long story short, we go to the doctors and I'm there for like 2.5 hours. They run so many tests and I'm like, oh my God, I just see numbers. I just see numbers because I'm like, I have a fucking 2,500 deductible in network and a 5,000 out of network deductible. And I know that they're just racking these things up, but I need to know what the fuck is going on. I thought it was just give me some eye drops and call it a day. So the first doctor was like, you need to go see a specialist because there's something going on that we physically cannot see because we don't have the equipment. She sends me to a specialist. They look at all the tests that the first doctor ran. And my dad is with me at this point because my mom had to go to work. And the woman, the second doctor told me, you have two options. You either go to the ER today and get admitted because you need to get an MRI done because there's something going on in the back of your eye. It's not the front of your eye, it's in the back, and we can't see that. And I'm just like, holy shit, what do you mean? Or the second option was wait till you get the prior authorization. That may take a couple of weeks, and you're just gonna have to deal with being blind in one eye. And I said, I want to know what the fuck is going on, so we're going to the ER tonight. So that was literally the day before the meeting that me and Janice had. My dad takes me to the ER and I'm admitted that night. Long story short, I'm admitted there for 5 days because I had something called optical neuritis. And it was literally the back of my retina nerve was inflamed. And the reasoning why, after running so many tests and taking so many tubes of blood, I had lesions that showed up on my MRI that show evidence of me being someone who has multiple sclerosis.
Hmm.
And that day on June 25th, 2025 was the day that I thought I'm going to become paralyzed. I'm going to become Christopher fucking Reeves and that guy that has ALS. Like I thought MS and ALS were the same thing. And I thought
Mm-hmm.
that I was like, that this is it. I'm going to become paralyzed. I'm going to become a vegetable. My daughter's going to resent me. I'm going to become a fucking burden to my family. I've always felt like a burden to my family. And this is just reinforcing the trauma that I have. And then 2 or 3 days later, after I'm admitted out of the hospital, I have that meeting with my sister, and that's when she told me like, yeah, so I hired a podcasting agency and they're going to take over your job and I'm just going to need you as an as needed basis. And I was like, holy shit, the fucking timing. You couldn't wait a month? You couldn't wait till like I had my full vision? That's how I felt. And
Yeah.
then I spiraled and then the family spiraled.
Yeah. So, in the preparation for all this transition, I had been obviously looking for support because it's not like you can snap your fucking fingers and find people to replace all of the work that you were doing. So, I took several weeks to find, people who could help me with the podcast, help me with like the back end stuff for sales and customer service cuz like you were doing a bunch of shit. And I was in the mode of like, well, I'm just going to set all this stuff up with the intention of knowing like I'm going to have a conversation with her once I'm ready to transition because I am now paying these people and I can't afford to be paying everybody. You know what I mean? Because basically like your income was being replaced by now these people that I'm paying for. So the timing of it was absolutely fucking despicable. And I was really pissed off. I was really pissed off and thinking to myself, like, this is just another thing that the universe is telling me, like, to just deal with this fucking responsibility. Like, I felt like at this point, I was so pissed off and resentful about just continuing the working relationship because I had already in my mind said, like, this shit is not working. I need to stop making fucking excuses. And I need to stop, like, using the guilt as a reason to hold on to something that it's already been done. Right. So the fact that this happened and then I'm like in fucking limbo and not being able to have the conversation, I didn't want to wait a month because it's like what was going to be the point of that of just extending the inevitable of then me financially stretching myself beyond what was reasonable because I had already made the decision. It's like I didn't ask for this shit to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like and I also felt like I had been so fair in giving you the opportunity to initiate the change that I felt like I'm not gonna fucking take responsibility for this shit happening because at the end of the day, I don't have responsibility for anything that's happened to you. Do I have ultimate empathy and sympathy? Yes. But I also felt like the decision is made. So let's rip the fucking band-aid off. Right. And I also, figured the last thing that you have the capacity to do is work in the business right now. You're literally dealing with not being able to fucking see. How am
Mm,
I going to then be like giving you work assignments? None of it felt tenable.
Aligned. Yeah.
None of it felt fucking realistic.
Yeah.
So we had the conversation. Obviously, you were upset. But then shit gets taken to another level because as soon as I hang up with you, I get a phone call from our mother.
Uh-huh.
And she's basically cursing me out, telling me that I'm a terrible person, saying that I'm selfish, that all I care about is money, and essentially disowning me. Like at one point in the conversation, she's basically like, "You're not my daughter."
Yeah.
And so that set off a cascade of really nasty, hurtful messages um, that forced me to take a step back and basically go no contact with the family.
Mm.
And that was probably the one of the worst things I've ever been through, especially in this period of time where I am needing my family to support me because I'm obviously still going through a huge life transition with being a mom and like
Yeah.
being a new mom and not being able to talk to my mom because she's not fucking speaking to me. And also, I don't want to fucking speak to her because she's said some just really hurtful, nasty shit to me. I cried a lot of tears in 2025.
Mm.
And I felt like people just cared about me because of what I could do for them and not who I was as a person. It felt like the relationships had revealed themselves to be very transactional. And once I didn't want to, quote unquote, give because I'm the one that has the privilege to do so, that I was basically written off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that sucked
Yeah. And I
because I feel like I've always
appreciate
tried to do the right thing.
no, and I appreciate that vulnerability because we're gonna talk sister to sister now, right? My sister and I don't have a really close relationship like y'all think we would. One, because
Yeah.
of the distance. Two, because of the age difference. And three, working for her really fucked up our relationship towards the end. in the beginning, it was great. I was like, "Oh my god, my sister is my boss? Like, this is great." But I took it for granted. I definitely took advantage of how fair she was, and I felt this is me, I can't speak for mom, but I felt like you were so cold and calculated. I
Mhm.
felt like you did it vindictively. I took it personally. I felt like you were trying to punish me in some sort of way, or you were trying to, like, prove a lesson to see, like, maybe she really needs to fucking hit rock bottom so she can get her shit together. Because clearly trying to be nice to her is not helping, so now she needs the loving bitch slap. Shout out to Erica Kramer for that term. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I definitely took it personally, and I thought that I hated you, and I meant like, such I felt such betrayal from my sister, who I looked up to, who I thought was gonna be able to take care of me, who I could always depend on. Like, y'all know the things that this woman has done for me. She's the reason why I got out of that abusive relationship. She sent me on a one-way ticket back home and took care of everything for me. You know, she has saved me over and over again. But in that moment, especially with the new diagnosis, I know you were going through postpartum depression for sure. I dealt with that too, but you going with your hormones and your emotions and me thinking, "Oh my god, I have a freaking death sentence and now I have no money." That was my only source of income, of steady income. That's when it got really dark, and that's
Yeah.
when everything just the shit hit the fan.
Let's touch on the money part too, because that was
Yeah,
also a really big point of frustration for me,
yeah.
because I felt like I was actually making the situation worse by continuing the relationship. The reason why is because you have always struggled with financial management,
Always.
especially with the 1099 situation where like
Yeah.
you're responsible for paying your taxes. And so I got tired of hearing like for the fourth time
Mhm.
that like I can't pay my fucking taxes when
Uh-huh.
I'm just like, you never asked me for financial advice. You never asked me any type of like, how should I handle my, budget, anything like that. And I'm like, bitch, you work for a fucking financial coach. Like, I wrote a goddamn book.
I know,
I wrote a goddamn book.
I know.
And I was just tired of now essentially enabling
Yeah,
your continued financial fucking chaos. I had come to the realization like my sister needs to be a W-2 employee. She needs to have the paycheck issued, the taxes filed,
yes.
the fucking like she's not the
I
type of person
need the
that
tax
can manage my
return
shit.
every April, babe. I need that
Yeah.
tax return.
Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
another thing too. I was like, I'm not gonna spend another year like
No.
enabling the situation for then you to get deeper in the hole with the IRS, owe
Uh-huh,
more fucking money, and then
uh-huh.
you're crying to me about this. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do?
Yeah,
Right? So it's like it was just a cascade of shit that honestly, like the working relationship should have ended years ago,
yeah.
but I really just felt this sense of responsibility and guilt as like the first daughter, as the quote unquote financially successful one, as the one
Uh-huh.
that's got their shit together. A lot of the times, like when you're in that position, you feel fucking responsible for everybody.
Yeah,
And I had to put a clear boundary in place for my own fucking sanity and say, I'm actually not responsible for any fucking adult. I'm responsible for my little ass child.
mhm.
Okay. That is the only person that I'm responsible for. Everybody else is fucking grown and they need to figure it out. So at that point, I had just made the decision like, my sister's going to have to figure it out. My parents are going to have to get the fuck over it. I'm tired of carrying this burden that is not my fucking burden to carry anymore.
Yeah, yeah, and I agree, and I think that's probably the hardest pill to swallow for someone who's on my end. Again, taking it back to sitting in your shit and taking responsibility because, like she said, yo, I worked for this fucking woman for 4 years and I never asked her for help. I didn't even know as a tenant. Okay, I've always been a W-2 worker. Shout out to the W-2 workers, okay? We're out here thriving too, babe. Um, I never knew what a 1099 contractor was. I thought all the money that I was getting every week, not biweekly, every week, babe. 4 figures every week. I thought that was just my money, my money, my money. And then the first year in 2022, when I filed taxes, I was like, why the fuck do I owe Uncle Sam $5,000? Did I learn my lesson? No. Why? Because I'm fucking hard-headed. But I need to have my tower moments in order for me to thrive, right? But I'm honestly glad, and I'm glad that we can sit down, 1, and have this conversation, and 2, that I don't work for you anymore. I'm so fucking glad that I don't work for you anymore because
Why?
I was bored. I was fucking over it. I felt like I was just like a redundant robot, like, I gotta do this, that, and the third. I was over it. 2, I think a lot of people glamorize working from home. I don't like it. I like a commute, babe. I like to go be outside and be around people for 8, 9 hours and then have to come back home and then work on my own thing because it got really lonely. I got really comfortable being in my little hermit crab mode.
Mm,
And I lost a lot of friendships. Like, shout out to the Fierce Femme tribe for welcoming me back in with open arms when I decided like I really need to lean on my community to get me out of this depression that I'm living in for 7, 8, 9 months. But working from home and just not socializing and not stepping outside, like, it really fucked with me personally with my mental health. Like,
mhm.
I don't ever wanna work from home ever again
That's
because
interesting.
it's just I got too comfortable
Yeah.
in the redundancy of my life.
Mm,
That's
yeah.
what it was. Yeah.
Well, and I feel like you're an ambivert. You're not really an introvert. Like you
Yeah.
have your extrovert spaces where you're comfortable being yourself.
Yeah.
But I think that just speaks to the importance of like knowing yourself and knowing kind of what environment brings out the best and the worst in you.
Mhm.
Like if you notice that you're the type of person that you ruminate a lot and you're like you live in your fucking head all the time. Like I
Um,
don't think that working
hello, I'm
from
a
home is.
fucking Virgo, okay? We overthink overthinking.
Listen, my husband, your brother-in-law, is
Yeah.
like the exact fucking same way, but
Yeah.
he actually is okay with, like, the hermit life. Like,
Mm.
this man leaves the house to go to the gym, and that's it, and
Yeah.
comes right back home, and, like, his
I mean, if I
fucking
had a man, I would be doing that too. Like, fuck all y'all. I'll see you once
I
a year.
mean, his ideal day is, like, sitting on the couch, watching YouTube, going out to the garage, working on his car, like, he doesn't have any type of, like,
Shout out to
you
YouTube.
know,
This is YouTube.
close friends or
Yeah.
nothing like that.
Mhm.
So and he's very much content in that way,
Yeah.
right?
And some
So
people
I
are
think
like that.
some people are like that, and
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
I love working from home. I love being able to make money from my house, but I also intentionally curate like time to get out of my house. Like obviously, I am a Zoom instructor, so I am leaving the house at least 4 times a week to go and
Yeah.
do that. I am very intentional about scheduling lunch dates with my husband and with my friends and things like that, and hosting things
And
at the
bitch,
house.
you're always on a fucking plane going somewhere too.
Well, that too,
Yeah.
and I have no issue telling him, "I need a fucking 48-hour break. I'm sick of y'all. Like, I'm gonna go somewhere."
Right, right,
Like,
right.
I just did that in December. I literally said, "I need to go be around people
Mhm.
and not mother for 48 hours, so I'm gonna book a plane ticket to LA, and I'll see you in it. I'll see you when I see you."
Yes.
And, having a partner that is down with that life is must for my own mental health,
We love
so
that.
shout
Yeah.
out to the partners who, allow us to thrive.
Yes, period.
Um, so obviously you're in a much different
Oh,
place than you
much.
were this summer with all
Yeah.
the shit that was going on. So can you talk a little bit about how you started to like dig your way out of that spiral, especially, when you reach a place where you're literally contemplating taking your own life? Um, that's a place that unfortunately a lot of people don't come back from. So
Oh,
what
yeah.
do you attribute that to?
Y'all want the truth or you want, like, the curated social media
No, bitch.
highlight reel
We
version?
need we need the fucking tea, okay? You know
Y'all
what
need
this
to
show
see?
is.
Okay, period. So like I said, I live at home with my parents and my daughter, and my fucking family hated me. That's really what it was. Like, my
You're
mental
just
health
like a
was
miserable person to be
I
around.
was yo, you wanna talk about Eeyore? Like, I was Eeyore on fucking shrooms, bro. Like, I was just tweaking out. I was crying every day. I was just moping around every day. I could not see the light.
Yeah.
Like, there was no way out, and my mom shout out to mommy again. I know you're listening. We love you. Um, she tried so hard to get me a job in her school because she works for a school, the school district. So I'm like, yo, mommy's the plug. She knows hella people in our
She's
home
got
city.
mad people fucking jobs too. Like this bitch is
Mad
gonna be
jobs,
walking in
yo.
somebody's office and she's like, I need a fucking job
And
for
I
something.
have hella experience. Like, I'm a front desk baddie. You know what I mean? Like, I got this. So I'm like, oh, I could be a secretary. Sure, why not? Bitch, I was literally I don't understand how people are looking for jobs now because the amount of fucking applications that one I applied to and two got rejected by
Like
or
right away.
ghosted.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's like dating. It was so triggering for me. I literally could not find a job. With the amount of experience I've been working since I'm 14, I'm 37. I've been doing the VA, the front desk. I was doing cashier. So many jobs. My
Yeah.
resume is like 17,000 pages long. And I had to shrink it down to like, hey, this is what I can do. Shout out to ChatGPT. But I couldn't get a job. And then I was like, well, I guess I got to go back to being a medical assistant. The one fucking thing that I didn't want to do, and I was just like, damn, I feel like I'm taking another step back. Like, the universe is just telling me, bitch, no, what you think and your reality are two different things. Like, sit the fuck down and humble yourself.
Mm.
And I applied to become a medical assistant, and shout out to my job. I'm not going to name names because y'all are crazy and I don't want you stalking me, but shout out to my crew. I love y'all so much. I got a job 3 days after my 37th birthday. I started September 24th, 2025, and I took a pay cut, but they are the most flexible, easiest group of doctors to work for. I have such a beautiful relationship with every single coworker there, and I've never been happier.
Mm.
I don't even care that I lost like 30 I took a 30% pay cut. I don't even care that I gotta wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and, I gotta deal with patients all day and I gotta answer phones and schedule. Like, I love the fact that I'm in an area where I feel like I'm thriving, and I'm able to be social and I'm able to hang out and have conversations and talk about my dating because a bitch is dating too, right? She's outside. She's in the streets. But, it feels so good to realize. I think the biggest lesson that I took away from all of 2025 is that, 1, get the fuck out of your own way, and 2, lean on your fucking community, because I have so many people who reached out to me and I ghosted them. I
Bitch, they
had
were reaching out to me looking for you.
Yo, people thought I was dead. I literally disappeared. I was like, I can't deal with the world. But they welcomed me back in with open arms when I was ready to. And I think it's so important for people to have at least one person like that in their life.
Mhm.
Because even Giovanna, and I know me and her, we're back together. That's my twin. Shout out to Giovanna. But that's my best friend who lives in Florida, and I had went to see her in April of 2025, right before my diagnosis, and she could even tell that I was fucked up, and this is before everything happened that we talked
Mhm.
about happened, and
Yeah.
me and her stopped talking for, like, 5, 6 months, and then I finally decided, "Yo, I need to talk to someone," and I sent a message to Giovanna. She was the first person that I said something to, and now, now we're out here thriving.
All right. So I know that you've had moments where you've had this same energy in the past, but it
Mm.
hasn't necessarily like lasted. So what are you doing to not make this just another peak in the journey and keeping it like going? You know what I mean?
I think documenting it on social media, I'm
Mm,
literally talking about all of this. Like, I said I wasn't gonna spill the whole tea and y'all were gonna have to wait for my solo episode, but we're gonna put this so y'all
mm,
can just listen to what the fuck happened for 2025. But I'm different, right? Like, I'm overly comfortable with speaking my truth. I think I've really learned to love my relationship with the word shame.
mm.
especially when it comes to living your life authentically for other people to judge. And I think because I'm so open and honest with my shit, that gives people hope and, the sense of they're not the only ones who are suffering. Because we're all fucking going through shit, whether you want to
Facts.
admit it or not. Okay?
Facts.
I'm
Yeah.
still going through it. I said earlier, and I'm going to say it again. I'm about to file for bankruptcy, babe. Chapter 7. Okay? My finances are horrible. I have like $250 to my name right now in one bank account, right? But I'm just waiting for payday, but it's okay. My bills, not really, right? But that's why we're filing for bankruptcy. But I just to bring it back full circle, like I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks about my life because it's me living my truth. And I just feel this sense of not urgency, but just this sense of like, yo, I cannot be 40 years old and still living at home with my parents.
Mm, mhm,
Like that can't be what God put me through all the shit that I've gone through up until this point. It can't like there has to be more.
mhm.
But at the end of the day, you can manifest, you can dream, you can want to do all these things, but what are you doing to make that happen? Again, you got to take accountability, babe. I wasn't doing shit. Why? Because I wanted to fucking blow my brains out. But now I feel like I'm starting, if you think of the phoenix rising from the ashes and like, or a baby chicken comes out of an egg and it's just like wobbling and learning to get their balance, like, beautiful. Shout out to Titi's baby. She had to learn how to crawl before she could stand, before she could take her first step, and then she fell down again, and then
Mhm.
she got back up. Like, I feel like I'm in the very beginning. I'm learning this new version of myself.
Baby calf mode.
Yeah, like I'm literally this new Leanne. I don't know this version, but I think she's fucking dope.
I
You know?
agree, and I think that what's different about you this time around is that you are not avoiding feeling all the feelings. Like, I
Yes.
think, like, all of 2025 was like, it forced you to a point where, like, you couldn't use your usual avoidance tactics and your, like,
Oh yeah.
typical, like, "I'm just gonna pull away and
Yeah.
think
Let
that
me
that
sit
shit was
down.
gonna fix everything," because you literally
Let's
did it
just
for, like, 6 months, and it was,
yeah.
"But nothing's happening, so
No.
what are you gonna do different this time?"
Yeah, yeah. Just not sweep shit under the rug. That's what we're gonna
Mhm,
not do. Like you said, just taking accountability and taking small inspired action steps every single day. I
mhm,
think the thing that I'm still struggling with the most is knowing that there's more out there for me and feeling that energy that I'm stepping into the next version of myself, but it's not happening fast enough.
mm,
That overnight success that social media loves to throw in our faces. We think
yeah.
everyone's an overnight fucking celebrity, but that's not the way that I wanna run my business, that's not the way I wanna run my relationship life, my anything. I want something solid and strong, and that's gonna take me doing the things that I know I need to do and also leaning on the support system that I talked about before to help me get to that next level.
I think a lot of people don't have really realistic views on how long shit takes to
Yeah.
actually, like, figure itself out.
Look at you! How long did it take you?
I mean, first of all, for me to actually, like, be able to quit my job, it took me 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so, like, the shit that looks like an overnight success, well, one of the sayings that my husband loves is, like, people don't understand, like, the 10,000 hours that are behind, like, somebody's success,
Yeah.
right? They just see, like, the end result, but they don't understand, like, what's all the shit that you did? Like, what's all the things you sacrificed, all the money that you spent, the mistakes that you made, all that shit. And then, hello, I was in a toxic 16-year relationship to now at 40 be, like, madly in love and, like, in a new relationship and just, like, so fucking healed from all of that trauma.
Aw.
Like, a lot
Okay,
of
wait,
us.
hold on, time can we just give a round of applause for that? Can we insert like a brr, 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 because bitch, you were down
Yeah,
bad too. You were down bad.
I
But the
was
crazy
down
thing is
fucking bad.
nobody knew, not even the family. None of us knew. None of us knew.
Well, I mean, I think, Latinos in general, we're very good at, like,
putting on a fucking face
Black and
for the
brown people,
public.
period.
Yeah.
Because it's the blacks, it's the South Pacifics, it's everybody. Everybody who ain't, and some of y'all too. Some of y'all
I
crackers.
mean, some of these folks got mass murderers and serial killers in their families, and people like to pretend like it's not a thing. So I'm just gonna.
Mm,
I've
fucking
never really
president.
seen a person of color school shooter. I'm just gonna.
I digress.
Okay, but that's for another episode.
Right.
Um, but yeah, yo, I think it's just like at some point you have to get sick of your own shit, and I think you weren't gonna get sick of your own shit until you
No,
were forced to confront it.
that's it. That's it. Sometimes you have to look in the mirror and realize that you're the one who's been beating the shit out of yourself. You're the
Uh,
one who's been talking down to yourself, making you feel like shit, but then not doing anything about it. That was me. That was me. And that's a hard pill to swallow. That's why I know that I trigger a lot of people with my approach when it comes to coaching, when it comes to the way that I show up on online and social media, when it comes to how I show up in my own podcast. But I can talk my shit. Why? Because I've been there.
mhm.
I've been at the bottom. I've been the one who was smearing manure all over. And just be like, "Oh my god, I love this. This is such a good color." Like, come on. At some fucking point, you gotta get sick and tired of your own shit.
Yeah.
You have to.
Well, I'm glad that you did because,
Me too, bitch,
you have
because being sad is really exhausting.
it is exhausting and it gets fucking old. You know what
It's
I'm saying? Like,
it's
I
so
don't think it's
boring.
anybody wants to be in that default.
No,
At some
no.
point, you're just like, there has to be more to life than the fucking struggle.
But can I say this? I'm
Sure.
actively choosing every single day to not spiral back to that dark place because it's very easy for someone like me who has clinical depression, clinical anxiety, clinical PTSD. I might have undiagnosed ADHD. I don't
It's
know.
bipolar.
Bitch, this is why partake in gardening. You know what I mean? Because it gets real dark real quick up here. But again, I'm actively making the choice to do what I need to do to continue walking towards the light. But
Yeah.
I'm also learning to love my shadow self as well. Like, I'm very spiritual and woo woo and shit, right? But
Yeah.
like, I'm really learning to say, yo, this old version of Leanne, I got this. Like, Big Mama got it. I
Hmm.
understand why little Leanne is trying to come because she didn't feel safe. She's looking for someone to make her feel secure. I'm here. I got it. I got
Yeah.
it.
There's
And
adults in the room.
yeah, and it's okay for you to love the dark and the light sides of you, but you also gotta do something to make the shit go forward.
Hmm.
You gotta just stop being so comfortable with complacency because that's literally what causes
Yeah.
majority of us losing our mental health because 'cause we're
Yeah.
just comfortable with bullshit.
I hear you. And um I would definitely choose a different way for you to have learned these lessons, but we can't choose the way that the universe decides
Listen, I mean,
approach.
some of us are God's strongest soldiers, but I'm tired. I wanna be in my soft girl era. That's what I'm manifesting in
You deserve,
2026.
honey. You deserve. Okay.
Period, period. You deserve it.
Um I'm also happy to report that the relationship with my parents is back to normal. I would say it's probably better now. I
Yeah,
think there is a level of like mutual respect that might have been missing from their part of just them being able to see me as like a full ass adult.
right.
And I think that's one of those things that is always tricky, but I think especially for like immigrant families, Latino families, I think there's a lot of like unhealed trauma around the parent child relationship and like how that must evolve when your child is no longer like a child by the numbers, by age. Like, yes, they're always your child, but they're also like fully functional adults who are going to make decisions that you might not always agree with.
Yeah,
And also, just this feeling of you necessarily thinking that you have control over a situation that you don't, I think can cause a lot of conflict. So I think there's been a lot of healing there. Um, and I do think that, my daughter is one of the reasons why that healing happened much faster than maybe it would have in the past.
mm,
Because there is a relationship that is at stake if they, didn't kind of try to open their minds up to the fact that like this wasn't done by for any malicious reason. It's just a terrible sequence of events that culminated into hurtful actions, but not the type of stuff that you can't come back from.
Yeah, and I'm definitely grateful that y'all were able to do that, especially in person. Because me and my sister, we have not seen each other since April of 2025. So it's gonna be, bitch, I need to come out to Florida. But honestly, I'm really glad that you guys were able to have those conversations in person, and you guys were also able to see, like, Aurora is definitely the glue that brought y'all back together, but
Mhm.
I'm so glad that that's not the only reason anymore,
Yeah.
because for a long time, that was the reason why it was so fucked up at home,
Mhm.
because now my parents are not having a relationship with their 2nd grandchild.
Mhm.
That's gotta fucking suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2025 in culmination was definitely the year of the tower, I think,
The year
for
of the snake, yes, a lot of
Mhm.
shedding, a lot of,
Mhm.
rebirths and yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So when you think about 2026, now that you're coming back out into the wild, you're relaunching your podcast, doing all the things, like what's gonna change? And what's gonna stay the same?
I'm coming out. I want the world to know. I think what's coming back and better than ever, first of all, my website. Shout out to my web designer. Your girl dropped 4 figures before I lost my mind, to really revamp my website and rebrand my podcast. That was actually supposed to happen in September of 2025. September 2025 was when everything is supposed to come back. But now I don't have a, release date yet. So I think what the first thing that I'm really excited for you guys to check out is the website for sure. But I think with the podcast, I think I was focusing too much on other people's stories. I'm gonna continue interviewing other people, but I want to do more solo episodes. And I know you
Same.
took a year off from doing that too.
Mhm.
And I think I have like so much to talk about, especially when it comes to relationships and dating. And I feel like 2026 is the year that my throat chakra is wide open. Like a bitch is back behind the mic and I'm gonna talk about it all because there's a lot of things that I've gone through besides what we shared.
Facts.
And that's gonna be for the Watch Us Live podcast. So you gotta subscribe if you want to listen to that. Shameless plug. But I think this is the year, not that let me not, okay, the universe is abundant. This is the year that I'm gonna take off.
Mm.
But I feel like in this season right now, I'm in the rebuilding stage. I'm putting the plywood together. I'm figuring out where things are going, and I'm doing it on my timeline. I'm no longer looking at anyone else's success, especially yours, and feeling like, well, I got to catch up to them. I got to do
Mhm.
it quicker than them. I got to be like them. No, fuck that. What I'm building is going to be generational. It's going to leave a legacy for my daughter, and it's going to happen all in God's timing. I'm letting go of control. And that's hard for this Virgo sun, right? This Virgo sun, Aquarius moon, Scorpio rising. Like letting
I don't
go.
know what any of that shit means.
Oh, you're big three. Come on, my woo girls, y'all
No
know.
fucking clue.
Y'all know,
We need
y'all
an
know. But
astrology lesson.
yeah, shout out to the astrology baddies. But I think for me, just letting go of this need of control, but still taking the steps to do what I have to do to get to that end point because I see it. I've
Mhm.
manifested and I've seen this vision. I've seen me traveling the world with you. I've seen me speaking on stage with Erica Kramer. I've seen me in the beautiful home with the beautiful man and the beautiful family and Ariel living her best life. I know that's all meant for me, but I got to make that happen. So that's what 2026 is all about. And I'm bringing y'all along with me.
Mic drop. Thank you for this episode.
Yes, thank
Thank
you
you
for
for this
having me.
live healing session, and thank you for always coming with the real and the raw. One lesson that I want to leave y'all with, especially when it comes to the uh, blurred lines that can be working with family. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I do think that it requires a radical level of transparency, communication, mutual respect in order for it to be sustainable.
Yeah.
I know a lot of my clients who either work with, a husband or they've worked with siblings and things like that. And more often than not, those relationships can suffer because of the just weird mix that it is of business versus personal. So I would say, knowing what I know now, tread with caution. Not don't do it, but really understand, like, what is the objective? Are you doing this out of some sense of obligation, sense of duty, some sense of responsibility that is maybe not yours to carry? Or are you doing this because you have a genuine desire to, like, use this person's skill sets that are complementary to yours, and you think that, like, a partnership situation or where you guys are working together could be, like, really powerful? Just like have a level of discernment before you make such impactful decisions. And then also be able to understand if and when that business relationship has come to its end. I think everything has its seasons, everything has its purpose. And sometimes we are guilty of trying to extend things beyond their expiration date. And I don't think that
Mm.
that shit goes anywhere other than fucking chaos. So that's my
Um,
lesson for the episode.
can I say, because she gave the, like, politically correct answer,
Sure.
Imma say the Leanne answer. 0 stars, do not recommend. Don't fucking do it. Don't play
No,
yourself there.
no, no, because, like, look at, like, our friend, you've mentioned her name, Erica Kramer. Her
Yeah.
and her husband have an incredible coaching
But
business
they're
together.
different. They're both
They're
very healed.
they're very yes, they're very into personal development. So I
Yeah.
do not recommend you being like a person who is very, as you said, healed, working with someone who might be necessarily
Batshit
less
crazy?
than. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
but it can work. It definitely can
No,
work.
it definitely
But like
can.
I mentioned,
I'm joking, y'all. I gotta come with a
yeah.
joke. I definitely gotta come
No,
with
of
a joke.
course. I
But
think at the end of the day, like, you have to do what's best for you, but also for the vision, you know?
and you
I think
also have to have boundaries. I think that's
yeah,
something that so many of us in relationships, familial relationships, friendships,
fact.
work relationships,
Yeah.
like, we lack having boundaries and we lack speaking up. That's why I said, "Babe, unlock your throat chakra in 2026 and let these motherfuckers know, stop playing with me, okay? Because 'Cause I'm healing, not healed. So you can fuck around and find out."
I think that's the quotable quote for the episode.
Make sure you make that an Instagram reel, team. Thanks.
I love you.
I love you. Love you
Thank you
guys.
for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Yo, go check out the new website. Check out the new
Yes,
website.
we're gonna have all of the resources linked in the episode show notes. So make sure that you check out Leanne at Watch Us Thrive, the podcast, watchusthrive.com,
Yes.
and follow her on social. She is fucking
Batshit
hysterical.
crazy.
Okay.
This is the same energy you're gonna get 24/7.
It is. And like, if you need somebody to bitch slap you out of that toxic relationship, like, look no further, okay? Because she gonna tell you about yourself
In the most loving way
in the
possible.
most loving way. But do not. She's the friend who, like, you're gonna come to and complain about your man, and she's gonna be like, "Fucking leave him, throw him away. He's trash." Like, if you're looking for to be coddled,
That ain't me, babe.
that ain't the platform for you.
No. I
All
love
right,
you.
y'all. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you loved this episode, make sure to share it and to subscribe so that you never miss another one. And until next time, stay poderosa.